It is customary to celebrate the Feast of the Holy Family on the Sunday immediately following our celebrations on the birth of Jesus at Christmas. I must confess that it is a feast that I have a difficult time celebrating because in the minds of many people, the word holy is often associated with perfection and being perfect. And if that is our understanding, then today's feast doesn't make much sense as we compare our reality with the biblical picture of Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. Yet, if the word means to be filled with grace, unique, good, important, and a valued treasure, then we can enter into today's liturgy with confidence and peace. The point of the feast is not to create a tension between a notion of an ideal family and our actual experience of family. Growing in holiness is possible no matter what our family situation. Today, the faith community is invited to reflect on the human family as the unique place where individuals and collectives' futures are shaped and directed. In today's gospel, we see a poor couple who, respecting their religious traditions, bring their firstborn son to the temple for a dedication and a purification. And while they are performing the simple rite, they meet two elders who affirm the identity and the expectation of their child. Simon, after embracing the child, prays the following prayer. Now, Master, you may let your servant go in peace according to your word, for my eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the sight of all the peoples, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and a glory for your people Israel. Then Anna, who after encountering the Holy Family, begins sharing the prophetic message that this child brings peace, that he is a fulfillment of the Lord's word that a Messiah would come, that he is an entrance of the word into the whole world. She proclaims that this child is a revelation and a glory for humankind. The affirmation and message of the elders reminds us that it takes a whole village to raise a child, and it takes the whole covenant community to be a family. Celebrating the feast of the Holy Family might be an occasion for each of us to reflect and give thanks for all the people whose love, affirmation, and commitment have helped us to discover our own holiness. All those people who have rooted in us a sense of belonging, while also giving us wings to develop our unique gifts and talents. One part of our celebration today is about our sense of belonging and connections with others within the human community. Something I understood and appreciated after discovering that I had another older brother called Don. As he shared his story with me, I learned that my father, before he married my mother, had a one-night stand with a co-worker that resulted in an unwanted pregnancy. After refusing an offer of marriage, Don's mother gave him up for adoption when he was born. His adoptive parents were kind and supportive, but Don always had a deep desire to know his family of origin, and a powerful drive to connect and belong to the people who shared a similar DNA, a force that compelled him to overcome his fears and doubts about how people would receive him. I am convinced this desire and driving force at the core of our being compels us beyond ourselves to others, community, and God. the holy that allows each person to experience their uniqueness and goodness that binds them to all those that they meet on their journey of life and faith. Today, we are reminded that family is the domestic church, where God uniquely calls each family member. As the nurturing ground of society and church, the family is the grace place where we learn to do well and refuse evil, to be just rather than unjust. So also, the family is the place where each of us learns values and realizes ourselves as valuable. In this regard, I'm reminded of a story told by a rabbi about raising a child to be a person having admirable characteristics such as fortitude and firmness of purpose. A young woman about to be married came to the rabbi for counseling. When she told him that she hoped she would not make the same mistakes her parents did, he pressed her to elaborate. The woman explained that each summer her parents traveled to Europe while she remained behind with a nanny. One year when she was 11, the housekeeper suddenly quit before the annual trip to Europe. Upset that their vacation might be in jeopardy, the parents quickly found a replacement. A few days before their departure, the girl noticed that her mother had wrapped her jewels and silverware and placed them in the safe. Since this had never happened before, she asked why. Her mother explained that she could not trust the new housekeeper with the family valuables. Though certainly not intended, the insensitive remark so shocked and hurt the little girl that she never forgot it. Wasn't she a family valuable? Didn't she have more value than knives and forks? Obviously, the young woman's childhood experience was not unique, nor was it the most tragic or traumatic of all childhood experiences. Nevertheless, her story, considered within the context of the Feast of the Holy Family, gives us cause to reflect upon the environment and experiences that constitute our own families. In the course of our reflection, we are to be mindful that each family member has a God-given value. Each is a family valuable and should be tendered and treasured as such. Today's second reading from Paul's letter to the Colossians reminds us that all virtue flows from love and are held together in the unity of love. The love of Mary and Joseph for Jesus and their fidelity and commitment to their vocation as parents was the sacred ground for Jesus to grow in wisdom and grace, the place where his future was shaped and directed. In the 21st century, cultural attitudes and norms have reshaped the portrait of the family units. Family relationships are often complicated, complex, and ever-changing. Today, the term family does mean something different in a contemporary society than it did generations ago. Nevertheless, it is within these family units, however, they are defined and delineated, that love must grow, that values are to be learned, and family valuables must be cherished and protected. The Feast of the Holy Family invites us to cherish and develop our ability to participate in communities of love. We are created for God in the image of the triune God, whom we know as constantly expanding, all-encompassing community of love. Like Jesus, we all have the ability to enter into and form the communities that make us more human and godlike. The family we really celebrate today is the whole holy family of humankind, bound together across the ages by the God who loves us into life. And as we begin another lockdown, my prayer for you and your family is to stay well and be safe. God bless.